Hey YouTube, and a very warm welcome back to my channel. It's me, Xander, as always. If you do enjoy this series, please give us a like, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss all the other bits and bobs coming your way in the future. But of course, it does just help us out as well. So a massive thank you for you if you've already done that, and a thank you to you if you're about to. Into today's video then, this has taken a little bit of a different turn to my normal videos because I got a question last week underneath the last video regarding how I managed to fit everything in, how I schedule everything, and still managed to get everything done. And it really got me thinking. Actually, in all honesty, it made me laugh because I thought, wow, I'm not even that good at it myself. In all honesty, I am very good at it now. When I reflected on that, I thought actually I do manage to fit a lot into my working days. But I also kind of considered that I used to be terrible. So when I was personal training, I used to work in the gym from 6 o'clock in the morning, sometimes through till 9:30 at night. Since I've become a fully online coach, my days are structured, well, for a long time they were structured around what I needed to do. And I started to find out that actually it just wasn't that efficient anymore. I wasn't being efficient, I wasn't getting much done, and it frustrated me no end. So I was chatting to one of my clients who's a professor at university, and I was talking to him about, time management, things like that, and he said, oh, I had this exact same problem. So I was recommended this book, and it's called Deep Work. It's by a man called Cal Newport. Really, very, very much an eye-opening book. And I read that, and it made me consider how I spend my time, how I use my time, and a structuring of that time. That served me very well for a certain period of time. And then it started to not serve me so well because I took the lessons of the book exceptionally literally. And so I planned out every minute of my day, I did this, I did that, but it made me very anxious in the end. I started to get very stressed, very uptight, and my energy was just sapped from constantly trying to keep up with this. And that happened for two reasons. First of all, because I wasn't setting realistic expectations for the amount of time each task was going to take me, which meant that in the end I was always running over, always running behind time, and I was essentially always running on stress. And the other point was that there was no flexibility in that for me. If one of my friends had said, hey, do you want to go for coffee? I'm really struggling at the moment. Or, hey, I want to celebrate. No, sorry, that's not going to fit in my diary this week. Coming full circle to where I am now, one of the things I learned was to massively balance energy. And I don't mean like energy in terms of look at what moon it is and look at the stars and things like that. I realised that certain tasks I did gave me loads of energy, and certain tasks that I do take it away. For example, when I've done all my team's check-ins on a Monday, I do my check-ins on a Monday and Tuesday, I am very tired at the end of that day. Very, very tired. I give my heart and soul to my team, and hopefully if any of them are listening to this, they understand that. So what happens is that I give a lot of myself out in those days. As a part and parcel of that, I lose a lot of that energy. So I need to learn to refuel that. I need to learn to balance that with something that's not. And a lot of people don't do this. They essentially just feel very tired, they go home, they sit on the sofa and do nothing because they're tired. Tiredness and energy balance in different ways. Some things sap our energy, some things give us energy. So for example, I was super, super tired on Tuesday after my day of check-ins. It was a wonderful day of check-ins. Lots of problem solving for me, lots of client wins, some difficult client situations and challenges to overcome as well. And, with that, there is an emotional side of the coaching. But the last check-in I did brung me back to life. It was like a check-in where someone has been struggling so much. I would love to share this journey with you. It's just, I can't obviously, but someone has been struggling an unbelievable amount over the last, I would say, 9 months. And we got a really big breakthrough, and it just warmed my heart, and it gave me such a big adrenaline boost and generally just lit me up. So there are certain things that light you up, certain things that don't. What you are going to see today, because I've already recorded, this is the evening now, or it's coming into the evening. I've already recorded today, and so I'm talking about the day I've just had in retrospect, because I wanted to see how it was going to go. And essentially what I've done is I've shown you how I deal with a day. Now, I've not done a check-in day. My check-in days are just too busy, and for you, probably too boring to watch. I essentially sit at my desk, I get everything done as I should, and I go about my day in a normal way. So today is a little bit different, a little bit more exciting, and a very clear view of what I do outside of my check-in days. I hope you enjoy.
My day always starts at 6 a.m. The alarm goes off, I get up and I get some light into my eyes as soon as possible. I then go to the toilet, I use the scales, and of course I get dressed. I head downstairs and I start then journaling by 6:10 for 15 minutes before then settling into some reading for the next 20 to 25 minutes, just to start my day off nice and slow, nice and calm, and just collect my thoughts and feelings. Then it's a drive to the gym at 6:50. We're in the gym then for 7 o'clock and ready to get going.
Good morning, YouTube. So I look a bit of a state right now, I'm granted, but it's for good reason. I've just finished a pretty brutal leg session, to be quite frank. I'm just gonna put you there. It was rough, to be quite honest. However, so I'm in week 4 of my current block, so I've got week 5 next week, which is obviously my maxed out week. I feel like I should feel great, like tons of endorphins, I should feel awake, I should feel alive, but my brain is just saying, go back to bed. So like I said, the muscular aspect of my body is feeling a bit broken but brilliant, and my brain is just saying go back to bed. So we are going to make some breakfast. It's obviously my second breakfast and my first breakfast before I trained. Then I am going to shave because I look like an absolute mess, as you guys can see. Yeah, got some cool things happening today actually within the team, so I'll take you through that. And we've got a really good question as well, which I will kind of flow throughout this video. So let's crack on. So I'm having my usual breakfast, which is skyr yogurt. I also have some Flave Drops, which are the My Protein chocolate flavoured ones. They're brilliant because the skyr is quite bitter. It's brilliant, it's fantastic because it's obviously got tons of protein in it. But it is a little bitter, I find, when it's in its natural form. So I like to change that by adding in a little bit of Flave Drops. Got to finish off a bit of yesterday's one first. So anyway, I have 300 grams of this every morning post-workout, which has about 35 grams of protein in, so it's actually pretty gnarly when it comes to that. So essentially what I do is I have this now, which is about 35 grams, then I drink my protein shake between now and lunch. I have my lunch at between kind of 1:30 and 2. So I go for a walk at 1 and then I'm into my lunch at about 2. But I usually have around 200 grams of chicken for lunch, so that's usually heaving with protein. Obviously I could drink my protein shake now and have this, but this has carbohydrate in it, which is what we need post-training. I'm having these at the moment. I had the chocolate ones last time. The chocolate ones are actually better. However, the problem with the chocolate ones are that they have chocolate in. Not a lot of chocolate, but enough chocolate to make you think about chocolate quite a lot. And so actually I found, to an extent, it almost drives the craving for more chocolate. I found myself kind of looking for more once I'd had that. And this is a kind of key point for fat loss really, and dieting in general. It's kind of learning what works for you and what doesn't. So for me, I know that if I try and put a lot of sweet things on the back burner, it's going to benefit me a lot more than say somebody who needs to include something like that in their everyday diet. Purely because I know that I get very, not fixated on them, but I have a very sweet tooth. So gaining is no problem for me because I can knock carbohydrate back like it's going out of fashion. Dieting, it's just a case, again, it's not a problem. It's just a case of working out what I can have and what's going to work better for me to optimise the process. Right, I'm going to dig into this because I'm hungry and I will see you on the flip side. I now had my shower, I've had my shave, which I think went pretty well. And now it's time to get into some work. So I've already done a little bit of work, as I said, probably already. I've done my first work block, so I've done an hour. Now I've done a shave, had a quick shower. So I've been out of work for about 15 minutes, maybe closer to 20 actually now I've recorded all of this, but usually it would be 15. So time to get into my next work block. So my first work block is always client messages. Without doubt, it's the first thing I do every day. I answer my client emails, I answer any applications that come through, and of course I answer any client messages. For our client messages, we use Slack. It's just better than WhatsApp, I find, because WhatsApp is obviously where my personal life is, my clients' personal lives, so actually it gives us all a bit of a degree of separation, which I find is really helpful. This morning, what I would have done is I would have come in, I would have taken my ashwagandha tablet and of course drunk some water. I don't always have my curtain closed either. Like, this is just because you wouldn't be able to see me else, and there's really nothing very interesting that way except for my shirt on the back of a door. And my plant and my laptop are here, so essentially there is no room for you. Oh, and this is my watering system, by the way. So you see Pedro, this is Pedro. He's like my pride and joy. I feed him every Wednesday because we did once have a plant called Picasso and I killed it. Not by purpose, I must stress that. I just overwatered it. I didn't realise it didn't need much water. So we have a watering schedule now where every Wednesday he gets watered. So yesterday he had his water and he gets a few sprays of my Wilco leaf spray, which I'm not even sure if it works, but anyway.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes of how I work out my day. One of the most important things you can do is figure out what's important to you and what's urgent and what's not important and what's not urgent. Too often we take up too much of our time doing things that are not important and not urgent because, quite frankly, they're usually more enjoyable. So if you're not sure what to do, make a square like I've made here and you can start to fill them in for yourself. Doesn't matter if they're little jobs you need to do around the house or it's work related. This is a really important thing. Now, you'll see from my next few slides that I nail what's urgent and important very early on. It's the first thing I do. So as you can see at the top of my page, every day I write, today I will. I don't personally like the term to-do list. I think they often drive more anxiety than they help relinquish it. So I like to say, today I will. So anything I write on this list, I have full intention of completing, and I won't add anything to this list that I don't think I have the capacity to complete. This is where learning to say no is very important. So as you can see, all my tasks are on here. I answer my client messages in the morning, then at lunch, and then in the evening. But my main priorities are making sure that I answer them straight away in the morning and last thing at night. Then on the lower down in the page, I'll then go into the main tasks I have to do that day. So today it was YouTube recording, YouTube editing, client project launch, and I had 2 client calls as well. Lastly, in the third section of the page, I put important but not urgent. These are things that I can add to my page throughout the day that I might want to do either today if I have time, and if not, I'll push them to tomorrow.
What's up, legends? So, what the fuck have I done here? Oi oi. Anyway, I'm not really sure what's happened here. There we go. Right, so I've just finished my second work block, put my wash going. This is the thing, when you time your day like I do now, and I was never usually like this, by the way, I used to be a catastrophe, to be quite honest. When you time your day like this, what you figure out is that you actually have shitloads of time to do tasks that normally you think, oh, I just don't have time to do this. Because what you normally do is you procrastinate or you slow down while you're working because you're tired of the task that you're doing. Whereas what I do is I acknowledge as soon as I'm done with my timer or when my energy levels have started to dip, I acknowledge that, right, let's go and do something else, let's change the dynamic. So, quite regularly I'll get, washing done, I'll get the dishwasher done, I'll do some cleaning, I will hang the washing out, that'll be my next break. So there's plenty of time to do all these things when you integrate them as breaks. Because for me, breaks are about giving me energy back, not necessarily sapping more energy. So a lot of people will sit on social media, for example, or they will procrastinate doing nothing but reading through the internet. That's not giving you energy back. Now, I'm not saying that doing the washing gives me energy back, but it's a change of scenery, it's active. I feel accomplished, I feel good for getting it done. I'm gonna make a coffee now, and I'm going to head back up shortly. So this break will be about 15 minutes. It's a slightly longer break. Normally it's due to the fact that I've done a longer second work block. What I tend to do is if I have shorter breaks, like a 5-minute break, that'll be after like a 25-minute work block or a 30-minute work block. Or if I've had an intense check-in or an intense call that I just need to have a little bit of downtime, I might just come and lie on the sofa. But I won't be on my phone, that's really important. I'm not getting stimulated by anything, I'm just lying there, essentially relaxing. But this was a slightly more intense work block in the sense that I got loads done. I will show you my little booklet, I've ticked loads of stuff off. So yeah, I will be diving back in shortly and of course, getting my coffee. So let's do that first. Boom, that's another work break done, and hunger washing out. Sorted. So that's another 10-minute break done. I'm gonna head back to work now. I've got a short half an hour block before my lunch break. On my lunch break, I'm gonna go for a walk. I may or may not take you with me. This thing's heavy, so I've not decided yet. So I've just got in from my walk. Time now is 5 to 2. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. It's running out of battery, but I've clocked up 9,664 steps so far today, which is a lot of steps, mainly just from doing stuff. And I'm obviously very hungry at the moment, so keeping active, keeping going with these things is actually really beneficial for me when it comes to not thinking about being hungry. Obviously, having just got back from my walk now, I am pretty hungry, so let's eat. Just smashed another work block. I had a call with someone who's running a project with me at the moment, which is pretty exciting. It's pretty stressful as well, but yeah, very good. So just had a call for 45 minutes and my brain is now pretty fried. So I'm now gonna go and get my washing. Hopefully it's dry. It hasn't rained yet, but it could do very shortly, so I want to get it in before it does that. So I'm gonna take a bit of a longer break now. I'm going to half an hour break this time. So the time now is 25 to 5, so that last work block was actually super long, much longer than a normal work block would be. And I know that because as I ended the call, I went to do another job. My brain's just not there. So I'm gonna take a bit of a longer break. I'm gonna grab some food because I am hungry, and I'll get my washing in. So I get my washing in first, so our food gets pushed back a little bit, and then we'll get cracking. Hey everyone, so it's actually now Friday morning, and the reason I'm doing this is because yesterday evening and afternoon didn't really go to plan. And I thought to myself, right, I'm gonna scrap the video. I will do something very different this week. I'll do something different because this isn't a accurate representation anymore of really what goes on. And then I thought, actually, no, this is perfect. This is perfect. This is a perfect opportunity to show actually that we need to be flexible with our routines, and sometimes we work around them and sometimes they work around us. Yesterday's work block number 5, so the one I did after I had my porridge in the afternoon, my oats, did not go to plan, and I didn't end up getting much work done due to some personal reasons then, and I ended up basically getting stuck back into work at about, I think I started again at 9. So I worked last night between 9, I finished at 1:30, and I thought actually what I'll do is I'll show you some of my probably busier days, because the question at the start was how do you fit everything in, and the truth is sometimes it is literally just working stupid hours. It's, you know, all the economy under the sun is helpful, but sometimes it is just about hours, you know, and the reason I'm able to work those hours is a combination of all the things I've spoken about in this video. Essentially, what I've got is what my day looks like. So, you know, we went through the waking up, the journaling, reading, breakfast one, and this isn't regimented, but this is a rough look at exactly what I would do on a day-to-day basis. So you can see that, you know, I don't start particularly early. I start at 9 really, just like everybody else. And then I go through my day, I finish at 6:30. And essentially that's when I spend my time with my partner. So myself and her will go for a nice long walk somewhere. We like to go walking by the river, things like that, or we'll just walk around the house, not literally in the house, you know, around the house. And then we'll have dinner. Then I will come back to work, and I will work, you know, last night, for example, I think I came back to work at 9. I can't actually remember. I don't remember looking at the time, to be honest. I just remembered I needed to get back. So anyway, I started working at 9 and I didn't get into bed till 1:26, I think was the last time I looked at my phone. So there alone, you know, you're looking at another, what's that? 9 till 10, 10 till 11, 11 till 12, 12 till 1, 1:30, 4.5 hours of work. So, you know, easily that's half of someone's day, and I carry a hell of a lot of productivity at that time. I don't have any messages. I turn everything off. I sometimes dive in and see what people are up to, because obviously my Australian, Canadian and American clients are kind of all starting to get up at that point, so I might have some messages from them. I might touch base and say hello, but generally speaking, I will put my headphones in, I will turn the lamp on behind my screen, and I will get stuck in and I'll get that done. It doesn't change. I used to then set my alarm a lot later the next morning, but then I got to the point where I was like, hang on a minute, I'm just trading time. So this morning I got into bed, like I said, I probably wasn't asleep till about 1:30. I got up at bang on 6. I got up, I got my journaling done, and I commit to that process, because the rule I've set to myself is this: if I'm gonna go and stay up later to get work done, unless it was prioritized to that time for a specific reason, I will not lie in the next day. I will stay in my routine, because else I'm just trading time for time. Why don't I just go to bed on time, get a good 8 hours sleep and wake up properly? If I'm busy, that is exactly what I do. And like I said, the reason I'm able to do that is because I balance my energy so well throughout the day. I take regular breaks, I go and do things, I'm active, I don't spend a huge amount of time doodling through social media. Obviously my job is a lot on social media, but I don't spend a lot of time there, and generally speaking I do things that give me energy. So I take a nice long break, 2 hours in the evening to chill, spend time with my partner, and then I come back to work, and it's usually tasks that I can really get my teeth into and enjoy most of the time. So, you know, it's good fun. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't, but all of this comes together to say, you know, you have to have the energy to do it, you have to have the passion to do it anyway. Sometimes I do just stay up. I remember when COVID hit, I think I stayed up till 4 a.m. 2 nights on the bounce. I think I got 6 hours sleep for 2 nights. I was so worried about everyone getting their plans and worrying about that. I just plowed through it. So sometimes needs must, but generally speaking, I don't do this all the time. Over the last couple of weeks I have been very, very busy, and I don't want to compromise any areas, so something has to give, and that sometimes is a bit of sleep. It's not something I would encourage people to do. I don't encourage my clients to do, I absolutely don't. But I do claw a bit back at the weekends, and generally speaking, there'll be quiet patches where I'll have not so much on and I can recover properly then. As always, I want to say a massive thank you for watching my video. I hope this was beneficial in some way. I haven't done a check-in this week purely because I have not had the time, which is ironic based on this video. But I have got lots to update you on, which I will do next week. I'll do a proper update, I'll do some progress photos, and I'll show you where I'm at. It'll be the end of my block next week, so that's exciting. And I'll catch you all then. Have a wonderful weekend, take good care. Much love, bye for now.